with all the information available about real estate. It's like trying to work your way through a jungle. It's the Real Estate Show. Welcome to the Real Estate Show. My name is Rick Naples, and I'm a broker here in the state of Connecticut. There's a lot of information that's out there as far as real estate is concerned. And you know, if you're one of these people that like to hit the internet every single day, you'll always see a news story about what's going on in the housing market. Now, some of those articles tell you the market is depressed. Others tell you the market is good. It gets very confusing. Because for every positive article you can read out there, you're going to find someone that's printing something that's on the negative. Then there are the articles that are filled with tons of information. What you should do if you're looking to market your home. If you're looking to list your home in the winter, some of the things that you should do. What about if your house has very special features? How do you market that? Do you hire a real estate agency or do you not hire a real estate agency? And if you're a buyer, how do you go about getting a mortgage? What are the procedures? And if you find a house, when do you make an offer, or what kind of offer do you make? So lots and lots of information that's out there, and it could be quite confusing. It could be quite a jungle to try and work your way through. The ideal situation is to take your time, look at all the information, and try to navigate your way through it to understand what it is trying to tell you so that you can achieve your goal of either selling a house or buying a house. Now, realtors are trained to know what the information is about their marketplaces. They're trained on how to price homes, how to market homes. They're also trained on how to work with you buyers out there as far as finding a home is concerned. They're extremely knowledgeable individuals because it's their business. There are a lot of articles that you're going to read out there that tell you things like you don't need a realtor any longer in order to do a real estate transaction. It's something you can do on your own. Well, it's like anything else, folks. You can do a lot of things on your own, but you have to decide whether it's the right thing for you to do. Do you have the time, the education, the knowledge, just the dedication to put into what's needed to be done in order to purchase a home or to sell a home? A lot of people in today's busy society just don't have that time. They'll hire a professional. I relate it to this. I'm a very handy individual. Give me a hammer and some power tools and I'll build you whatever you need to get built. It's not a problem. Don't need to hire a professional contractor. But at times, a professional contractor is what I need in order to get a project done because I just don't have the time to do it. Well, it's the same thing when it comes to selling your house or buying a house. Yes, you can use all these different internet sites that are out there. Yes, you can fill out paperwork on your own. Yes, you can hire an attorney to help guide you through the real estate transaction. But do you really want to try and head everything off on your own? One of the articles that I read was a very interesting article, and it talked about selling your home on your own without a realtor and how it turns you into a prisoner. Now, the gist of the article was very simple. You know, when you put your home on the market, in order to sell it, you have to show it. And in order to show it, you have to be there. If you're selling your home on your own, you don't want to just open up your door and let anybody walk in and walk through the house, right? You want to be there to walk potential buyers through the house and show them the features of the house and perhaps talk to them a little bit or maybe negotiate the possible sale of the house. You have to take time off from work. You have to limit the hours that you're available. Maybe you can only do it on a weekend. Maybe you can only do it on your day off. You're very, very limited. On the other hand, if you hired a realtor, The realtor has the professional licensing and the ability to show the house at any time, even when you're not there, and negotiate deals for you. So again, something you have to look at, something you have to weigh. When it comes to buying a house, do you want to work with one realtor or a number of realtors? Well, again, the articles that are out there get very confusing because they tell you that maybe it's best to work with a number of realtors, kind of even out the odds a little bit, just expand the ability to look at houses because you'll be able to look at a lot more houses if you work with lots of realtors as opposed to one realtor. Well, that's not true. Because the bottom line is once you pick an individual or a realtor to work with, that individual has access to every single listing that's out there. They can show you any house anywhere in the state that they're licensed in. So you can work with one person that gets to know you, gets to know your wants, gets to know your needs, and can schedule things for you to see that fit within what you're looking for. They're not just going to be looking at selling you that one house that you're looking at that one particular time. And that brings me to the conversation about open houses. A while back, I had the opportunity to work with an individual that eventually became a buyer customer of mine, but they at first started to look on their own. And the way that they were looking at houses was the way a lot of people do. They started on the internet. They were looking at all the major search sites that are out there, and there's a ton of them. I won't mention all the names because you already know who all the big ones are out there. And they found a couple of houses that they were interested in taking a look at, but they weren't ready to, buy anything just not. They just wanted to get out in the marketplace and see what was out there. But they had to wait in order for an open house to happen. Because if they called the listing agency was only too happy to set up the showing, but then they had to deal with all the questions. Are you represented by an agency? Have you signed a buyer representation agreement? Do you have a pre-qualification or pre-approval letter? And so on and so forth. And they didn't want to get involved in all that because they just weren't ready. So they figured they would look for the houses slowly by going to open houses. Now, open houses are exactly that. The house is open at a specific date, at a specific time, where you as a buyer can go and visit the home. There's usually a realtor or two there that welcome you into the house, and you're able to walk through the house and see what it has to offer, see what the price is on the house, and so on and so forth. But even people don't like doing that because the first thing the realtor is going to ask you as a courtesy to the seller is they're going to ask you to sign a sign-in sheet. The realtor's looking for who you are and where you came from, in other words, your email address, your phone number, so that they can add you to their marketing list to send you other homes you might be interested in. And some people just don't want to get involved in that at that particular point, and that's fine. But like I said at the very beginning, there's so much information out there. Here on the Real Estate Show, what I've tried to do over the last few years is present information to the audience that's out there that hopefully gives you some tips and some hints and some ideas of the things that you can do either when you're buying a home or selling a home or when you're going through the real estate transaction. And I've even highlighted a number of different hints from articles about other things that you should do when you get involved in real estate. I've talked about new realtors just coming into the business and seasoned realtors in the business. I've talked about new buyers who have never bought a house before or seasoned buyers. And of course, I've talked about sellers, those who may be selling their house for the very first time or have sold other houses and are going through the process again. There's just a lot of information. Speaking of information, we all know what's been going on here in the country as far as the different hurricanes because it was hurricane season. We had, of course, that massive hurricane that hit the Texas area, Hurricane Harvey, and then, of course, one right after that moved its way into Florida, causing some devastation there. So I thought we would just take a moment to go back and review some of the flood information that I put out here on the Real Estate Show with some helpful websites that you can visit that give you information on what to do in the case of the aftermath of a big storm when there is flooding. Let's take a look. there's so much information that's out there, as I was saying, as far as articles to read. It gets very, very confusing. And sometimes you look at the different things, you don't know what to believe. You hear one thing on one side, you hear another thing on the one other side. One of the best things that you can do is if you're considering selling a home or you're considering buying a home is talk to a realtor. As I said, realtors are in the business. They know pretty much what's going on as far as the marketplace is concerned and the transactions and procedures when it comes to a real estate deal. I did a show on animals, and I talked about the different animals that are out there and how to handle it when you're going to sell your house or when you're going to buy a house and there are animals around. Everybody remembers Bella. Bella is my cat. She's with me today. She'll either come around and spend some time with us here on camera, or if she loses interest, she'll disappear. She's a cat. She does what she wants to do. So we'll go from there. But what I was talking about is I was talking about all the different information that's out there as far as being able to buy or sell a home and all the different articles that are out there and how confusing it can be. You need to weed through all that. And the best way to do that is to talk to a realtor. When you talk to a realtor is going to help you go through all the information and help you make some decisions that are going to be in your particular best interest on what you're trying to accomplish. You're going to find that realtors weed through all that different information, and they're going to give you the straight as far as what's concerned and what's real and what's fluff and what's different things that are being written. I've always had a great amount of respect when I read an article that's written by somebody that's actually in the industry, but a lot of times you find that a lot of these articles are not written by people that are in the industry. They're people who are professional writers. So it's information that they've gathered from other sources that may be accurate or inaccurate. So you have to take a look at it all. One of the things that you really need to pay attention to in today's society when it comes to real estate is safety. And I've shown this video a number of different times here on the Real Estate Show. I think it's worth another visit. Let's look at the National Association's video on safety.
Real estate professionals are in a unique position that most working professionals never face. They often share their contact information openly with others, meet unknown clients, and walk through vacant properties, to name a few. It's because of the unique nature of this business that it's critical for all real estate professionals to have a personal safety protocol in place that they follow every day, with every client, every time. And that includes with you. So, what kind of safety protocols might your real estate agent take? When meeting you for the first time, your agent might not meet you at the property right away without first having an initial meeting at the office, regardless of you or your agent's gender. You wouldn't want to meet a stranger at an unknown location, would you?
Hey, how you doing?
No. During the initial meeting, your agent may make copies of your driver's license and pre-approval letter for their records. This precaution allows the agent to keep a record at the office of who his or her clients are and a calendar of appointments. When first meeting with your agent, you'll also discuss the types of real estate you're interested in and walk you through the process. Now your agent can arrange showings, meet you at properties, and schedule open houses to help you through the biggest financial decision of your life. When viewing a property, your agent may ask that you drive separately. Please don't be offended. This is a safety precaution for you as much as it is for your agent. Not to mention you may both have appointments to go to afterward.
Hey, this is cute.
When viewing a property, you may need to sign in with your name and phone number or show a photo ID. This is so the seller's agent knows who entered the house. If you were opening your home to strangers, you'd want to know who was there too. As you tour a property, your agent may walk behind you. This is not only a routine safety measure, it also allows you to see the room first and make your own impressions. And many agents won't go into attics, garages, or basements, but feel free to look around and let your agent know what you thought. If you want to see a property that's vacant,
It's got potential.
your agent may only show it during daylight hours. Vacant properties should be seen during the day when you can see what safety hazards may exist, like a loose floorboard or any defects the house may have, like mold. When showing your property or hosting an open house, before opening your home to potential buyers, your agent may ask you to board your pets and remove jewelry, family photos, credit card receipts, artwork, prescription drugs, and valued possessions from the home. This is just one way your agent is looking out for you to keep your property and belongings secure. Your agent may bring a colleague to host your open house. If there are several potential buyers walking through the home, even better to have 2 agents on hand to answer questions and keep an eye on things. Safety is an important part of real estate, and we appreciate you respecting the protocols and processes that have been put into place to keep you and your agent safe.
There are many different things that you're going to need to do when you're preparing to sell your home, if you're preparing to buy a home. And what I mean by that is there's certain steps that you need to take in order to accomplish those things. Now, a lot of people think it's just as easy as saying, hey, my house is for sale, and putting a sign out in the front yard and buyers are going to flock to the house. Not necessarily true, because there's a lot of competition that's out there. There's a lot of homes that are for sale. How do you make your home stand out? And it's the same thing when you're looking around to try and buy a home. There's a lot of different houses out there. What neighborhood do you want to live in? What about the school systems? What about the size of the house? Number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms? One of the things that buyers don't consider when they fall in love with a house is the yard. I mean, is the yard going to be something that they're going to be able to comfortably taking care of? I once sold a house a number of years ago where I had an individual that was very happy with the house, but hated having to make the time to mow the lawn. He had over an acre worth of size of a lot, and it was a lot of grass to mow, and it took him a lot of time to do it. Many, many times he would tell me he'd be out there mowing grass with headlights on because night would fall and he still wasn't finished. But he always wanted to keep his yard looking well groomed. He just had to deal with running out of daylight in order to do it. But it's something he never considered when he bought the home in the first place. So there's a lot of different things. When you have a consultation with a realtor, you're going to sit down, you're going to talk about a number of different things. And these are the kinds of things that you might want to have conversations about, and also ask a lot of different questions to try and weed through all the information that's out there. Let's take a look at this quick presentation. I'll be back with what I call the real estate mailbag. This is the portion of the real estate show I call the real estate mailbag. It's my opportunity to address questions that are asked to me either via the email address that you see here on the screen or just asked to me when I'm out and about. The question that came to me was a question about preparing to purchase a home. What is the best thing to do? And the question was, should I talk to a mortgage officer first, or should I look at working with a realtor, go out and look at houses, find the house I want to buy, and then go talk to the mortgage officer about getting a mortgage for the house that I want to buy? Well, let's just stop right there. Very quickly, first thing that you need to do is decide what realtor you're going to work with. Immediately upon doing that, you want to contact a mortgage officer and get yourself pre-approved for a mortgage. My name is Rick Naples. This has been the Real Estate Show. I thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.